Hello and welcome to this video, how you can use Flowable together with Power Automate Desktop. I'm Valentin Zickner and I'm going to walk you through how you can create a simple flow in Power Automate, make that flow available to Flowable, and then also execute that flow from Flowable. To get started, actually today we are now not going to start in Flowable Design, we are going to start in Power Automate Desktop. In Power Automate Desktop, you can press the new button at the top left and say New Flow. And then we are going to say here, Calculate Company Value. And we are going to say Create. Once we have done that, it is loading now our flow editor. Here we can define our RPA flow, which you then can execute inside Flowable. First, we are going to add the input parameters and the output parameters. Therefore, we are going to the variables and we say here that we would like to add the input parameters. So the first variable name is FC1 and it is a number, and we are going to do the same for FC2 and FC3. We basically calculate the value of a company based on a given input data. And then we are going to receive the different values for the company value as well as the terminal value. So just some financial things. You could actually also do that directly in Flowable when you just bring the logic, which we are having here in an Excel sheet, directly into Flowable. This use case is just to illustrate basically what you could do when you have a complex application which does not integrate through a REST API or something similar. In case you have a REST API, I honestly would prefer that over the approach with RPA, but at the end, this decision is up to you. Now, I created the variables FC1 until FC3, WHCC, which is a weighted average capital cost, company value, and terminal value. Now, next we are going to create the flow. And for creating the flow, actually, we have in the documentation, which is linked in the description, actually an example where we can go ahead and just copy and paste in here. And the only thing which you need to do is to download the Excel file and then link it here to the first element. So when I say here edit, and I then say here, yes, I would like to adapt that, I can select here that I would like to have this specific Excel file, which is then opening. It is writing the values to the Excel file, it's reading them, and then it's showing us the file for 4 seconds that we have a chance to have a glimpse at the file. You don't need to do that. And then afterwards, it closes the Excel file. So let's save that. And once it's saved, we can go to make.powerautomate.com. I'm already here. I just refresh the page. And then I should see the calculate company value, which I just created 13 seconds ago. And I can share that. And I need to share it actually with the user, which is used by my Flowable installation. Therefore, I have the Power Automate Valentin user in here, and I can share that with that specific user. And once I have done that, I can go to Flowable Design, where I can start building out a process using that RPA flow automated with Power Automate. So let's create a simple app. That's evaluate company value. And in that app, we are creating a new process. We call that evaluate company value. And in here, we now have a start form. For that start form, we can go ahead and or start event. For that start event, we can go ahead and assign a start form. So that's the evaluate company value start form. And in that start form, we are going to add the same fields again. So I'm going to add here just the FC1, FC2, FC3, and WHCC. We can now also do some formatting in here, so we could make that required. And we could also say that we would like to have the number formatted. So therefore we can go here and say we would like to format it, and we would like to have the prefix $, for example, just to make our element a little bit nicer. I'm also going to just make the label now uppercase instead of lowercase. The same you could do for the other fields as well. I'm just going to skip that for now, since that how-to video is not about how you can design a form. It is about how you can integrate Power Automate. And therefore, the next task is actually to add a Power Automate flow task. You can just add that by clicking on the start event, and then through the quick draw inside Flowable Work, you can add it. You can also add it through here, Flowable Work, or you can search here when you use the big menu, basically for Power Automate flow. In here, we see directly that we need something in the general properties. There's a flow which is missing, and we have here now a drop-down which includes calculate company value, which is the flow which we just created. So that is this one over here. There's also an evaluate company value. I have had that one before. So now let's say finish in here, and then we can define our input and output parameters. Therefore, you click on the second tab over here, and you say then the input parameters. It recommends here you the variables, and we are just going through those FC1 until FC3. And actually FC2 should match to FC2, and FC3 should match to FC3. Now the weighted average capital cost is a little bit different, since that is a percentage. We would like to divide it by 100, since Excel expects here the input of 0.12, for example, for 12%. We could also handle that on Power Automate side. I haven't done that, so that's why we are entering just here WHCC divided by 100 as an expression. So it's up to you basically how you do that. We actually need to do also our output mapping before I continue with an gateway. So there we have the terminal value and also the company value. So both are coming in from here. And in here, we can now say, okay, let's do something in case our company value is over 100, over a million, for example, not 100 million, just over a million. Then we would like to have a special task, and otherwise we go to an end event. I mean, that business process flow afterwards is completely up to you. We have a lot of videos basically showing you how you can model a BPMN process flow and put in here conditions, for example. So let's say here company value is over 1 million, and just ensure that the numbers are right. And then we are going to assign here also a form, company value over 1 million. And you can give it a name of your choice. You can just create it. And then you could say that's a decimal terminal value as well as company value. And I am going to make both of those fields disabled. Therefore, I go ahead and say enabled as false. We also can then say, yeah, they should be formatted, and the prefix is $. Same we are going to do here. So we just made that field disabled. So formatting and the prefix in here, and obviously the disabled we shouldn't forget. Now we can save that. And with that, our process is done. We should add here some labels. I'm not doing that now. And I'm going to publish that to Flowable Work. In Flowable Work, we can say we would now like to start a new process. So in here, I say 100,000 for FC1, 200,000 for FC2. So that matches 300,000 for the last value, and then 12 for the weighted average capital cost. I say submit. And now this is communicating to the Power Automate cloud, which is then basically submitting to Power Automate that we would like to have that executed. Now my desktop here is polling, and it will open in a few seconds the Excel file and filling in the information which we have provided. There we go. The filling in is actually quite fast. We see here now the values, and it already closed since the 4 seconds which we configured are also already over. Now when we go back to Flowable Work actually also needs to do some polling to figure out when that information is back. So it takes a little bit until we are inside the company value is over 1 million. And that is now actually the case. We see the values coming back from the Excel file in here. And with that, basically, we successfully integrated Power Automate Desktop into Flowable and built our process. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.